All right, everybody, welcome in to another episode of the NFL Seekers podcast. Today, we're going to be doing a full 7 round mock draft for the entire NFC South. It's the last video we're going to be doing for this series, so definitely check out your team's episode if you missed it. But it's draft week. We're already here. It's actually crazy how fast it came by. This whole process has just flown by, and we're here just 2 days out of the draft. I'm absolutely ecstatic. How are you, Josh?
Doing good. We're double dipping tonight on podcasts. Still here. I'm still burnt. I'm ready to
For
keep
the
going.
first time ever.
Yeah. Double dipping for the first time ever tonight. Like we said, full go till the draft. We're just a couple days away. So we're gonna be shooting out these podcasts for the next couple days. It's gonna be all week long. So make sure you stay tuned. Turn on your bell notifications so you know when everything drops and you can get the latest news from us. But yeah, last of the series, last but not least, NFC South. Let's get it.
Super excited. We'll be talking about the Panthers, Saints, Falcons, and Buccaneers. And it's fine with you. Let's just start it off with the Panthers. We've been making these Panthers fans wait all off season. We've been doing these mock drafts, and they haven't been able to listen to their team's evaluation. So I think it's only fair and only right that we don't make the Panthers wait on this episode.
This one's for you, Panthers fans. All our hot takes were Panthers, but you just have not gotten much love from us. So here's us showing you a little bit of love.
That is very true. All most of our exit hot takes this draft process have been Panthers related. So yeah, hopefully we've got some Panthers fans here. Definitely comment your thoughts on these. But let's start it off. We got pick 33 and 39 after losing out on our first, obviously for Bryce Young, who I personally absolutely love. I'm excited to build with him and Canales. I'm really optimistic about the future. But I think the two needs in round two are kind of just clear and cut and dry. Obviously, everyone just locks in a receiver at pick 33 in every 2 round mock draft that you'll see. I think pick 39, we definitely need to look at edge because we did lose Brian Burns, our best player. So I do think replacing him is pretty essential as well. But what receivers kind of stand out to you here at 33? What fits the room the best to you?
Really what I'm looking at, and again, yeah, I think we need to definitely address receiver room. Our receiver room, Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, and then you got some depth with Jonathan Mingo and Terrence Marshall. But I feel like we're just missing kind of that big alpha wide receiver. I feel like we're just lacking that size and just that alpha mentality. So right where your key is on Keon Coleman there. Just a really fun prospect. I mean, one of the taller receivers, fast, physical, get up, score touchdowns. I mean, just really be that alpha for your wide receiver room and eventually really take over that number one role. Um, in a weird way, kind of reminds me of like George Pickens to Deontay Johnson. You got Keon Coleman to Deontay Johnson with Adam Thielen really just being your veteran in that receiver room. And I feel like that fits Bryce Young just really perfectly. What do you think?
I absolutely love it. I'm in full agreement. When you just look at the room, he really does kind of just shoe right in next to Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen, and that is a pretty fun receiving core. It's an upgrade on DJ Chark for sure. And I'm getting high on Keon Coleman, man. Like people are trying to sour me on him because there's a lot of people just low on him. But the more I watch him, he's just effective. He just gets the job done. Maybe he didn't test the best, but you saw him during the gauntlet on the combine. Maybe that gets talked about too much at this point, but he was just so natural, just natural. He just put all his thoughts away and just ran a straight line, and you could just tell how on the field how natural he is as a player. I think he's going to be really good. You pair him with Bryce Young, I think he'd be Cortland Sutton day one. That's who I compare him to. A lot of people compare Romo Dunze to Cortland Sutton. I think that's just crazy. I think Romo Dunze was better than Cortland Sutton as a senior in high school. So I think the better comparison for Cortland Sutton in this year's class is honestly Keon Coleman. I think they're the same player like day one. I think you're getting that same second round impact that Sutton gave the Broncos early on. And I really do just like the connection with Bryce Young. I think they would, Bryce Young's so accurate with his placement. It would really help Keon Coleman with those go balls, those contested catches. He's so good in those contested catches situations. I really love the fit, man. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he just immediately is your X wide receiver and your number one wide receiver on that team. and just something, you can build a perfect rapport with Bryce Young for the future. So yeah, easy lock in right there. And then what are you thinking here for pick 39? Were you saying edge, right?
Yeah, replacing Brian Burns just feels a little bit too essential. I was just thrown off because
Yeah.
I saw Chop Robinson on the board. That's pretty crazy because he has that Brian Burns bend. Just I'm pretty high on Chop Robinson. I think he goes round one. I don't know if he'd be here, so maybe we don't take him because of that. But if he was here, the Panthers need to sprint this board up because he's reminiscent to Brian Burns coming out of Florida State. They have that crazy bend, movement, athleticism, those traits. I'm kind of down to him or Jonah Ellis. Depends on if you think Chop would be there. What do you think?
I don't say it's outlandish. I feel like he has really risen ever since we all knew he was going to test like a freak athlete, and he did, and then that rose him back up people's draft board. So it's kind of hard to get a feel for the general consensus on Chop Robinson. I feel like it's kind of all over the board. I really don't feel like it's really that too far out of touch. I mean, Adisa Isaac from Penn State was also a really fun prospect. Jonah Ellis, Chris Braswell. So, I mean, our top four here are all really fun, but I really don't think that Chop Robinson, it's not. I mean, I don't think that's very far-fetched to say that he'd be here.
No, it's really not. It's right around like his floor for me. It's still a top 10 pick in the second round in this stacked class. That's pretty much a first round graded player. And Chop Robinson, I mean, I kind of already stated my case. He really is a Brian Burns type of mover coming out. He has that bend and movement that only comes around every 3 years in the draft. And he's really special to me. I am very optimistic Chop Robinson reaches that upside with Ejiro Evero, by the way. I think Evero is going to really boost this whole defense like he did last year, really boost some of these borderline starters, and he's going to really boost these rookies. So really excited to get Chop Robinson in there. That's an absolute steal. What a second round that would be. What needs stick out to you for the next few picks?
I would really love to get a running back or to get a true outside corner outside of JC Horn on the other side. So I'm really looking running back here or corner. Positional value, you kind of weigh it. But I mean, I don't know if we can really. I mean, if you really want to get your running back and you want to get, one of your top ones in this draft class, the run on it starts here in the third round. I feel like that's really the sweet spot, and that's really where it's going to start. So if you wanted to take your pick of the mill here in the third round. Who all do we have on the board? I mean, personally, Jalen Wright, Trey Benson are going to be the highest on my board right here. I think Trey Benson may be the first one off the board. I think he may be the safest one. Jalen Wright, though, is just an intriguing prospect. Just the burst, the speed after what he gets to the second level. Um, he's really. Ooh, I'm
I'm
between those two.
So
And
I'm
if you
out on
want to go,
Benson just because I think Benson's a Cowboy in round two, so we can just cross him off the board. I'm Corum or Wright here. I do think Wright would be really fun. You have Chuba and Sanders, so he doesn't have to be the bell cow right away. If you wanted someone to just start right away and be that, kind of a McCaffrey type, I don't mind Blake Corum there. I feels like he could be really, really productive and just be a good piece to honestly start day one in that offense. Jalen Wright, I don't know. That is hard. Like, who complements Chuba better? Because I feel like Chuba
well, I
is
have Jalen Wright ranked higher. I think he's the better
yeah.
prospect. I really do. I think the age, the burst, the size is probably going to be valued by teams a little bit more than Blake Corum, who's 24 years old and a little injury prone. So I don't know. I think I like Jalen Wright here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's just the upside versus floor argument. It's Jalen Wright has a lot of work to do as like a runner, and then Blake Corum has the highest upside, the highest floor, but kind of the lowest upside of all these running backs. So they're kind of opposites. They're really different. But I do, we're the Panthers. We're a little bit in a rebuilding stage, so I do kind of like getting Jalen Wright in there and letting him develop, and he definitely has the upside to be a three down bell cow back once he develops that vision a little bit more. And I like him. I think it would be a fun add to that room. And yeah, he would be pretty like if you were a dynasty fantasy football owner, I would definitely target like this Panthers running back just because I think there's going to be so much opportunity, and Bryce loves throwing to them too.
Yeah, and that you see that 4.35 yards after contact and the elusive rating. That's the kind of traits that I want to bank on for my kind of running back right there. Let's lock him in. Let's lock in Jalen right here. I love that.
No, I absolutely love that. Feels like a fun fit for that offense. Just get more pieces, more weapons for Bryce Young. Keep building around him. I definitely do want to look at corner. This pick, you do lose Dante Jackson. I like the addition of Dane Jackson. Troy Hill had a good season in the slot last year, but I do think it would be essential just to bring in another body. Jarian Jones falls. He'd be a great slot day one. Any of these guys stand out to you?
What do you think about Miles Harden from South Dakota?
Miles Harden's a dog. I love Miles Harden. I just barely like got around to like getting into his whole profile and stuff. Apparently he's a Florida boy and he just kind of was forced to go up to South Dakota due to a few situations I think he's gonna be really good, man. Like him and Quantez Stiggers, I think are gonna surprise a lot of people. I don't know if Miles Harden goes in round 4, however. I know Sycamore has a crazy high. But honestly, maybe we could wait on corner and get him like at 141, 142.
I know he does. I know I was watching, the stock exchange and they were turning me on to him and I got around to his tape and he did play every year as the outside corner at South Dakota State. They have him as an inside corner just because they don't trust his long speed. I don't know if I really have that concern with him, to be honest with you, where they did, so I could see him sliding in. Jarvis Brownlee would be fun here, but yeah, I mean, we could probably wait a round or two. Maybe we could even double dip back at wide receiver here.
I was thinking about it. Let's see who's the yeah, that might be the move. Just get someone to be the eventual replacement to Adam Thielen. Let's do that. I already like tell I don't know what you think about Jacob Cowing. Let me know, but I think he is one of the smarter just slot receivers in this class. And if you put him behind Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen, let him learn from them, and he could be a really solid wide receiver for as well. I think this would be really exciting. I think he could be the Thielen of all these guys, but.
No, I absolutely love that. I'm a big Jacob Cowing fan. He is a smaller slot receiver type. I think that fits perfectly with what we just drafted in Keon Coleman here, and a guy with special teams abilities too, who can take punts. But yeah, I think that would be a perfect complement to this room, and a guy with pretty good upside on the floor.
Yeah, it's kind of electric. It just really fits the room very well. It complements Keon Coleman, and you got Adam Thielen really aging. So I absolutely love that. Actually, you're double dipping at receiver, and then we'll hope that Miles Harden falls here in round 5. We got 2 picks in a row. Miles Harden is the top corner on the board, so we're gonna get the dog out of South Dakota. He's really fun. He's definitely someone you need to keep on your radar because he's gonna go higher than you think, and I think he has a chance to be a solid player in the NFL, man.
No, I love it. Let's lock him in here. And like again, a Florida boy, they breed corners different in Florida, man. I'm telling you that. Good corners come from Florida. 6 foot, 200 pounds. I think, as they say, they think he could slot in, which is fine. Yeah, if he can play, he can slot into the nickel, slot into the slot, that's fine. I think he can hang on outside coverage. But yeah, I love the pick here. I wouldn't even mind double dipping at corner too. Do we have the next? Is it the exact pick after this?
Yep, the exact pick after this. So
Okay.
we'll draft Miles Harden. I wouldn't mind that as well, honestly.
So I was gonna say, even double dipping and getting DJ James, I mean, if you have that Kamal Haddon here would be fun. Cam Hart, DJ James. Oh man,
Kamarian Richardson would be really fun. He's just a freak. He could have a lot of upside. Because honestly, we don't need to start a corner day one. That's why we waited to round 5. I do like the double dip strategy here, though. In round 5, you get a high upside guy in Miles Harden. He could compete for the slot snaps, and right here we get someone on the outside. I don't know. DJ James is just so small to me. He's just such a
yeah,
twig. I don't know. I might
it's-
lean with a Kamarian Richardson, just a little bit more upside and traits. What do you think?
no, we have the flexibility to do that 2 picks in a row. Let's get the traitsy guy. Let's get the guy who's 6'2", who can really slot in on the outside, but doesn't have to start day one right away. Really like the grades from him there. I haven't got around to his tape, but I do like taking the upside here.
Yeah, solid in the SEC. Played with Emmanuel Forbes last year. I think Evero would really like to work with these traits. He has a lot of tools, so I do like this. Yeah, DJ James, the 160 pounds. I couldn't do it in round 5. I got more like around 6, 7 grade on him, but I do really like Kamarian Richardson. Think he's going to be electric. I like the double dip strategy there at corner. in round 5, and then we have our last pick here at 240 in round 7. What's that last need that stands out to you? I think we could consider center because I don't know if Austin Corbett is the most reliable center.
Yeah, center, or I wouldn't even mind adding another linebacker to that room with Shaq Thompson and Josie Jewell. We could definitely get another guy there.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, that or, and I mean, yeah, we literally don't even have depth at center. I mean, whether you think one of these backup guards can slot into center, but we don't even have a backup center.
You know what? Honestly, I like Cade Mays and Chandler Zavala more than I like the backup linebackers on this Panthers team. Looking at this roster, I don't want to say the names of these backup linebackers on this team. So you tell me what 7th round linebacker you like the most out of these guys.
Oh gosh, scroll up again. Got Bucky Watson, Jalen Ford, Dallas. John Tree Hunter from Georgia State kind of feels like a Panther, kind of feels like a guy that Evero could get his hands under. A very, very athletic guy coming from a smaller school. Definitely worth a dart throw here in the 7th round. Ooh, yeah, I like the fit with Evero with this guy.
Yeah, I like that. I like Gibbs from Wyoming to be that more like Josie Jewell type, but I do like Hunter a little bit more to fit the room because he's got more upside, more athleticism. He can be a special teams demon day one, and he has the upside to fill in for Thompson or Jewell. So I really like that. That's a pretty surgical draft from us. Not gonna lie, I think we hit it on the head. We might get a few of these right. Honestly, I feel like we hit those needs perfectly. Do you want to read it off?
Yes, sir. I'm just so excited. We're just really 2 short days away from the draft. It's gonna be fun to go over these and see what we got right and wrong. But starting out with the Panthers fans, we're not forgetting about you. We love you. We do our hot takes about you 95% of the time. Maybe just clowning a little bit, but all in good fun. But with round 2, pick 33, first pick in the 2nd round, we go get Keon Coleman, the big athletic freak from Florida State, to really slot in there as your X wide receiver. And then round 2, pick 39, we go get the most traitsy, one of the most athletic, freakiest testers, Bruce Feltman's freak list, Chop Robinson, the edge from Penn State, to really replace Brian Burns. And then we upgrade your running back room with Jalen Wright, the running back from Tennessee. You get your first pick of the mill at running back there in the first pick in the 3rd round. And I mean, this guy I think just immediately upgrades your running back room 10 full. We go get round 4, Jacob Cowing, the little smaller, traitsy, quick, twitchy wide receiver from Arizona, special teams upside. Miles Harden, cornerback, South Dakota State in the 5th round. Double dip at corner with DeCamerion Richardson, Mississippi State, big, tall, traitsy guy. And then finishing out in round 7, pick 240, John Tree Hunter from Georgia State, a linebacker from a smaller school, a very traitsy guy that Evero could definitely develop into something fun, but nonetheless, a very good special teams contributor.
Absolutely beautiful. Panthers fans, definitely comment your thoughts. Let us know if you'd change anything, but felt definitely pretty beautiful. Felt like a Panthers draft. Definitely hit the needs. But let's move on to the Falcons who pick at 8. It should be fun to have this discussion. I think the Falcons are just going all in, man. I really do think that this team is going all in for a Super Bowl, and I think they rightfully so should. I think they're ready. They have few needs. So yeah, let's just draft for Kirk Cousins and let's hit on those needs right now.
You know what? Just to throw out a conversation, they would not be a bad team to like consider trading down in the 1st round. Just to throw that out for a quarterback needy team, depending on who falls or what wide receiver or Joe Alt or somebody's there at that pick. I don't feel like they're in a need to really stick and pick there. I feel like they will have the flexibility of trading down on draft day. But if we are sticking and picking, I mean, there's a couple of glaring holes on this roster, and one of them is we need an edge rusher, man. We need an edge rusher bad. And you get right here, pick number 8 in the 1st round. You're going to get your pick of your favorite, really defensive player in general, whether you want to go edge or corner. But edge is just the glaring need. It's hard because I think me and you both have Latu. I mean, I've raised Latu up to my edge one. He's just got the best, the best hand movement. He's the smartest edge in this entire class. His vision is so good, but I just feel like Dallas Turner may be the fit here a little bit more if they're going on bendiness traits. I don't know.
This is like impossible for me. Like I said, I really think the Falcons are going all in. If you're going all in and going for right now, you probably draft Latu. He's by far the like honestly, not to sound rude, Dallas Turner's year one is still going to be trying to figure out what his go-to pass rush move is. Like, and I'm not even saying that as a joke. He still needs to figure out what his go-to counter move is. Latu, on the other hand, has every single tool pass rush move in his tool belt. He has everything. He has, cross chops. It's just stuff that you don't really see. He's read the encyclopedia of pass rushing. He's got a crazy high floor. So I do think if you're technically going for the Super Bowl, I think Latu is the pick, but is Raheem Morris just too he loves his traitsy guys. He loves those, athletic edge rushers. So is Dallas Turner just too much upside for Raheem Morris to pass up on? That's like a hard discussion.
It really is. It's like flip a quarter and whatever sides it lands on, that's who you draft. And that's what they damn near might be doing in the war room. That night it's like, who is it? Do we go with the guy that we know can step in and he's proven his sack. I mean, he's double digit back-to-back sacks. This guy, we can see him translating to the next level and having double digit sacks. But Dallas Turner is younger. The medical questions are not there for him. He is a little bit bendier. He's a freakier athlete than Latu. It's it's a head scratcher, man. But I mean, because I mean, when you're drafting a guy in the top 10, I mean, a lot of the times you just have to bank on that upside. So I really think it may be Dallas Turner here.
Yeah,
How do
not to
I-
give you guys the chalk. I know that you Falcons fans have seen this in every mock draft, but it just feels like it's going to happen. And we were just kind of talking it through. I think if it was what we would do, we would draft Lotzie, like we said, because I truly think I'm going all in for a Super Bowl with this Falcons team in that NFC. I'm fully confident that they can be right in the thick of things. So I personally would take Latu, but it does feel like Turner is the pick here. Just too much upside, too much bend with Raheem Morris. It's a big need. Ebiketie hasn't been the greatest. You got Lorenzo Carter opposite of him. It's a big, glaring need when you look at this roster. So we'll go Dallas Turner and hope that he can hit on that upside sooner rather than later, and we can make a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, 100%. And then, I mean, with our next pick here at 43, I think there's just the next glaring need with corner. I mean, we could also look to upgrade our wide receiver room. Hell, I mean, I mean, in a strange enough world, I wouldn't even mind pairing Chris Braswell back with Dallas Turner. Do I
Not a
think
bad
that?
shout.
No, but that would be interesting. That would be fun. This would possibly be his range.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
a good shout out. I don't know. That's definitely tempting to double dip at edge. I think receiver and corner are something to definitely look at, but that's a good call out.
who's our best corners on the board here?
I was
TJ.
hoping Lad McConkey would be on the board because just imagine him with Kirk Cousins. You just give him the Adam Thielen day one. It complements Drake London and Darnell Mooney perfectly. That would be perfect, but he is off the board, sadly. Corner would be nice. You got Clark Phillips starting on the outside.
Kyrie Jackson from Florida, or sorry, not from Florida, from Oregon, excuse me. Um, I think this guy has it, man. I think he could immediately start on the outside. I think you put Clark Phillips into the slot immediately because he's a little bit smaller of a guy, and you pair Kyrie Jackson on the opposite side of AJ Terrell. That's a really good 1, 2, 3 right there.
Yeah, I didn't mean to slight Clark Phillips. I know that Raheem Morris is used to starting those shorter corners on the outside. I think he could succeed. I was really high on him, but I think he could be like a star, game-changing slot corner just because of how good he is around the line of scrimmage. So I do like going corner. I am with you. I like Kyrie Jackson or Renardo Green. I really like both, and I think they'll be there at pick 74. Do you want to look at receiver? I honestly, I could 100% see Michael Penix here, man. I 100% could see Michael Penix going to the Falcons in round two and just being that nice backup to Kirk Cousins. I really could.
It's kind of crazy where the board falls for Michael Penix because people have him going as high as the Raiders at pick 13, or he could fall into the third round. It's kind of crazy. Ricky Pearsall. I mean, if we're talking about another fun guy, that may just be a beautiful, beautiful, fun pairing. To slot in there with Drake London and Darnell Mooney. I think he'd immediately be your wide receiver 3 over Rondell Moore. I think he's a little bit stronger at the point of attack, a really good route runner. Reminds me, a little bit different than Lad McConkey, but like the twitchiness, the quickness, the strong hands. Um, I think this would be a fun pick here too.
Yeah, same thinking as what I was saying to Lad McConkey. I didn't even see Pearsall on the board, but this is perfect. He's a plug-in slot receiver day one. He would have a great rapport with Kirk Cousins. It would be Adam Thielen vibes. Ricky Pearsall is just so good at just finding space, getting open, similar to Lad McConkey. I absolutely love this, honestly. I just think the Falcons, just need to get that upside higher, just draft for upside, draft for right now, impact right now. I think that could be a really fun pairing with Kirk Cousins. And then moving on to round three, let's see what corners fell to us. Both of our guys are at the top of the board here, so we get our pick of the litter. Both feel like Falcons. That's hard. I'll let you decide between Kyrie and Renardo.
We could we could double dip. We really could. I don't know if we want to. I think I really like Kyrie Jackson here. I think I like the size, like the measurables. I'm a big fan of Kyrie Jackson. I like what he does in the run game. I mean, come up there and lay the wood and not afraid to get his hands dirty. And the guy's just improved every single year. So I personally have Kyrie Jackson a little bit
Higher than
higher.
Renardo. Because I remember
Yeah.
you in our corner rankings, you had Renardo higher than me even, and I was high on him. So did you
Yes.
move Kyrie up a lot?
Yes, and you know who I like even more than Renardo Green is Jerry and Jones.
Oh, you like him more now? Okay.
Yes. Jerry and Jones has definitely gone up the board as well. I have him over Renardo.
He's
Um,
insane. He's
he
insane.
is. He really is. He really is.
I
Uh,
think he might be the best slot corner in this draft. You could argue he's better than Sanders still, man.
oh, he's
Very-
he's a special player. He's gonna be a day one impact player. Come come September, August. He's gonna be starting on a team. He's got that kind of traits.
100%. But I like this Kyrie pick. It does feel like that Falcons outside corner. You pair him with AJ Terrell and Clark Phillips. I like that a lot. You got Antonio Hamilton as depth. Really beautiful. Just feels like a Falcon. He can definitely start on the outside. He had a great season at Oregon last year. And then we have a pick just a few picks later. Hmm. I
We're
do
good.
like I feel like box safety opposite of Jesse Bates could be a need. We got DeMarco Hellum starting at strong safety. I do want to look if like we could go Malik Mustafa. A lot of people have him going in this range, and we could just start him at box safety, sub linebacker. DeMarco Hellams might be one of our weak spots on that defense right now. That could be kind of fun.
That would be pretty. He's an underrated guy, Malik Mustafa, a really fun guy. And when you're talking about another guy, kind of reminds me a little bit of Sione Vake, who just wants to be around the football, has that nose for the football, and is not afraid to come up and hit you. Cole Bishop too. I think Cole Bishop might even go round two. I don't know why the consensus is so low on him, but Cole Bishop, I think, was it Brugler has him as safety one at like 50s on his board.
I know Brugler has him at two. I've seen a few people that have him at two. I've seen Marcus Whitman has him at one. I don't know why PFF is so low on him. I think it's because right here you see his coverage grade is low, so it kind of reflected on his PFF grade. He's definitely a better safety than Sione Vaki. I'll tell all of you that right now. So I think Trevor Sycamore is a little bit off on Cole Bishop. I like that as well. He's really good around the line of scrimmage. You can pair him back up with
Hey,
Clark Phillips.
that I like that. He's already got that. He's already got that rapport with Clark Phillips in that secondary. Ooh, want to go
I
Cole
don't mind
Bishop?
it. It's Bishop or Mustafa. Bishop's a dog around the line of scrimmage as well. I wouldn't mind it.
I think Bishop may be gone. Let's go Mustafa for fun. Let's go Mustafa here. I think Bishop. I really think Cole Bishop may go in the second round. I think we're gonna see him go a lot higher than people are gonna be what, but it's just the consensus is off on Cole Bishop.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think he goes pretty, decently early round two. But Malik Mustafa, you just, line him up opposite of Jesse Bates. You could, start him at linebacker, get Helms in there. It's just a really fun piece for this DB room that's honestly kind of filled out now after this draft that we have for the Falcons. So that's a beautiful, beautiful pick. What needs stand out to you? Next, defensive interior could be something we look at.
I'm looking at Michael Hall here, man, and pairing him up in that defense. Oh,
Wow.
immediate upgrade over Tyquan Graham, in my opinion. You pair him with Grady Jarrett. You have Dallas Turner now on that line. That may just be too tempting. I mean, this guy right now, the upside is all there. I feel like he's kind of a one-trick pony right now, and that trick is very good. But you let him develop and you pair him around a guy like Grady Jarrett. Oh, I think I might really love that.
You get his upside behind Grady Jarrett, just end it. He's going to be awesome for the Falcons. He definitely reached that upside with Raheem Morris coaching him up. It's just perfect. You got the Ohio State connection with Zach Harrison, third round pick last year. This is just way too perfect. He kind of feels like a Falcon as well. This is an awesome pick. Michael Hall is just an absolute baller. I'm really high on him. I call him a day two Byron Murphy. Will he be here around four? It's close. If he is, it's just a
Yeah.
complete absolute steal.
Yeah, that's a damn good pick right there. And honestly, right here, what do you think? Maybe center?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind center at all as a need. Drew Dahlman has impressed for sure, but definitely just like a swing interior offensive lineman could be smart.
Bo Limmer would be kind of fun because he kind of is that swing interior. He even said, I mean, he's listed as center. He says he feels more comfortable at guard. One of the better testers of the draft. We're going based on upside and a guy that can swing around the interior of that offensive line. Bo Limmer may just be a beautiful fit here.
I do like that. I do want to just check out what linebackers are available. I don't, we got Caden Ellis and Nate Landman starting, which isn't bad. They both had good seasons last year. I just want to check.
Cedric Gray, the coverage freak of a linebacker.
Could be fun. That could be. He could definitely compete to start day one with Landman. That could be fun, and it's a nice compliment to Landman because Landman isn't a cover guy.
Yeah, yeah. Immediately he just stands off the board to me right there. And if he's here in round five, that's insane value is as well.
Yeah, let's go Gray, and then we'll go interior offensive lineman next round just because it's so deep in this class anyway. And I think we both really like Gray. He's a really smart linebacker. Like you said, he's just well-rounded. He does have some nice fill and coverage, some nice IQ, and he's a good mover. So I do really like this. Would definitely compete to start day one, and then we'll look at interior offensive line for our next pick. Oh, look who is on the board. Bo Limmer is here, still of the draft. I don't even know if we want to do it because it might just be too unrealistic.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Bo Limmer going as high as the third round. That may be a little bit too unrealistic. Drake Nugent from Michigan is tempting as well. Yeah, I mean,
Definitely
Bo Limmer would be awesome. I don't think that's realistic if we're being honest.
agreed. I don't even know if Drake Nugent would be here, but do you want to just do Nugent or McMahon? Nugent would be the pick if
Maybe,
he was here, but
yeah, maybe Dylan McMahon. Maybe Dylan McMahon I like here. A little bit more realistic. A guy who has not had the best college career, but you're kind of banking on the traits with this guy. Yeah, I think McMahon here in the six would make a little bit more sense.
we do have a pick and 10 picks. Can I interest you in a Jordan Travis real quick at the top of the board to be Kirk Cousins backup with some upside? Like I said, I really do think Jordan Travis will end up as like a Tyler Huntley, one of the best backups in the league. So behind Kirk Cousins, that couldn't be, yeah, that wouldn't be the worst and obviously good value.
I don't hate it at all, and especially with the new quarterback rule where you can actively dress three quarterbacks without it counting against your roster. I love that.
Yeah, and you only have Heineke on that roster. So I actually do like that. It would be a good fit behind Kirk Cousins. He is, he kind of has that Kirk Cousins play style as well. He doesn't really play too mobile. So I love that. And then for the last pick of the draft, we will finally attack offensive line. We'll go Dylan McMahon, just a really solid swing interior. Definitely can be your best backup interior offensive lineman day one.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Feels like a Falcons draft. I feel like we're ready to compete. We're ready to compete for this division. We're ready to compete for the playoffs, honestly, with this kind of roster we just put together here.
We're ready to make a Super Bowl run. I'm really confident just in Kirk Cousins with this team, the way they were playing last year. This defense is going to be playing awesome with Raheem Morris. It's exciting, man. I'm really excited to watch this Falcons team with Kirk. But in round one, you add to that defense getting Dallas Turner, the freak pass rusher that Raheem Morris would love to get his hands on. In round two, you get Ricky Pearsall. It'd be so fun with Kirk Cousins, just a really reliable slot receiver. He gets open. He would just be Kirk Cousins' best friend. Round three, you get Kyrie Jackson to start on the outside, opposite of AJ Terrell, just a really big physical outside corner. You also get Malik Mustafa in round three to be that box safety, that sub linebacker would be really great compliment to Jesse Bates, and then you got DeMarco Helms as well. Round 4, you get Michael Hall, just one of the steals of the drafts. If he falls to round 4, a lot of upside. You get him with Grady Jarrett. That's just absolutely beautiful. Round 5, you get Cedric Gray to compete at linebacker. We both love him. We love his coverage IQ. And then round 6, you get Jordan Travis to be one of the more intriguing backup quarterbacks in the league to Kirk Cousins. I actually really like that fit. I could see that happening. And you also get Dylan McMahon at the end of round 6 to be that nice swing interior offensive lineman. Beautiful.
Absolutely love it. Now, I hate to say this, but let's move on to the disaster class of the Saints. I'm sorry, Saints fans. It's been a painful competitive rebuild for the last feels like 10 years and the cap situation. And it's going to take a lot to fix this team, but we're going to try. We're going to try.
Are we both in agreement on what we need to do in round 1? It has to be tackle with, the health concerns and question marks with Ramchick and, with how Pennick played last year. Has to be tackle, right?
100%. Trevor Penning sucks. That was a big miss. That was a swing and a miss on that pick. I think we can confidently say that now. And yeah, they're already preparing to play a season without Ramczyk. So I think we have to. I think who's our best on the board here doesn't matter left or right tackle, whatever you feel is the best value here, and whoever your offensive tackle 1 is. What are you thinking?
So I think maybe outside of like Joe Alt to the Titans and Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals and Caleb Williams to the Bears, I think that Olu Fashanu to the Saints might be like the biggest lock in the draft. I would really love that. We know that Derek Carr, of all quarterbacks in the NFL, that he needs a good pass protection. He really does need it on his blind side of all people because he just has no pocket presence. He can't see pass rushers coming. He has no movement in the pocket. So if anyone needs a nice pass protecting offensive lineman, it is Derek Carr. I wouldn't mind Fatanu here as well. But who do you like better for the Saints, Fatanu or Olu?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there with Olu. Yeah, Derek Carr, and it's kind of funny because being a Chargers fan, Joey Bosa would call him out. He goes, "You get a hit or two on Derek Carr, he is absolutely rattled for the whole game." And so you get your guy, you get Derek Carr, a guy that can protect your blind side. He's probably one of the purest, cleanest pass protectors in this entire draft class. And yeah, this is exactly how you upgrade your team tenfold. And then if you can get a healthy Ryan Ramczyk back, and next year you got 2 lockdown tackles, 1 on each side. So yeah, I think like you said, it's one of the worst unkept secrets. But if Olu is here, it's tremendous value. I mean, Olu really was a guy we're talking about possibly even being a top 5 pick, just what a couple months ago. And it kind of feels like he's just shooting down people's boards for reasons that I don't quite understand. But yeah, one of the most purest, best pass protectors in this entire draft class, and that's how you keep Derek Carr mentally good in the game. It's the mental aspect for him too.
It's not even that. He just can't even see either. He just can't even see pressure coming. It's just on all aspects. That guy is just a complete struggle. But yeah, he gets rattled very easily. I love getting someone to protect him. And yeah, Olu is just like a Charles Cross regen to me. Just a great high floor pass rusher or pass protector. Moving on to round 2, I think receiver's a pretty big need, man. You've just got Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. And then outside of that, it's Cedric Wilson, Equinemius St. Brown, and A.T. Perry. So I do think a wide receiver 3 could be a really, like an outside receiver could be really good here. Any other needs stand out to you off the top of the head?
I mean, I wouldn't mind double dipping a tackle at some point in this draft class because I feel like we might need to. But yeah, no, receiver's a big need. I mean, Raheem Shaheed is he's a fun prospect. He's definitely not a wide receiver 2 in my opinion, but he's an electric player. I really like him. Um, oh, what else do I really think we could have?
Secondary could be a need too. We have Jordan Howden starting. He was pretty solid last year, but we could add a safety, could add a corner.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think we do got an attack receiver here, and really the top receivers are going to go off the board pretty fairly quick. Um, Jalen Polk, Xavier Legette, I feel like would be very nice compliments to Chris Olave. Those kind of stand off the board to me quick. Roman Wilson would just be fun because they're very quick and very similar. But that may be just a little bit repetitive. Um,
Yeah, I
Honestly,
agree. Wilson might be a little bit redundant with Olave. We'll rule him out. I do. I'm down to Polk, who's just that nice, wide receiver too. Would really complement Olave well. I think he would have a good connection with Derek Carr. Malachi Corley though could be a change of pace in that offense that they don't really have. They don't have that Debo. They don't have that guy you just give it on sweeps and he's gonna create yak. They don't really have that yak guy that they can rely on since Rashid is that deep threat. So I am kind of down to Polk or Malachi Corley.
what even about Xavier Legette?
I mean I love Xavier Leggett. I'm a big Xavier Leggett guy. I think it's a good compliment as well. He's an upgrade on Cedric Wilson for sure. I wasn't really thinking about him because we gave him to the Colts, but yeah, that would be good too.
Let's go Jalen Polk. I think I really like that fit as a really just step in, be your immediate wide receiver too. I really like Jalen Polk, man. Um, I mean, and to put up this kind of production when you had the kind of receiving group around you is just no slouch. And I think he just slots in just as a perfect wide receiver too to any team and just would complement Chris Olave and his play style almost just perfectly.
Yeah, it really is just the perfect complement to Chris Olave. It can't really be overstated. It would. He is like a Derek Carr receiver as well. He likes those big body guys, kind of like a Jacoby Myers, who he had some success with. Just throw it up to him. He can play in the slot. He's just a really good receiver, reliable. I do like that fit. Moving on to round three, I think edge is something we can look at. You do bring in Chase Young, which is an awesome high upside signing, but opposite of him, it is Carl Granderson is more of that run defending. Kind of rotation guy. So I do think edge could be something to look at. Corner could be
How old is
something to look
Cam
at.
Jordan? Is Cam Jordan just I thought he'd retire or something.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Cameron Jordan. I was thinking about him as a backup. Honestly, I didn't even think about him. Yeah,
Cam
I guess we
Jordan,
don't need to go into.
34 years old, and I think he carries a cap hit of like 30 plus million.
I can't believe he's still on the team, to be honest.
I have no idea how they can even feasibly keep him on the team. It doesn't even make any sense. They just keep kicking the can down the road. I mean, you just got to get rid of your bigger contracts and get younger. But yeah, they somehow have Cam Jordan. I mean, Brian Bresee, Colin
Yeah,
Sanders.
their defensive interior is really, really good. I don't even really want to draft one of them.
Do you want to look corner maybe instead?
I don't mind secondary. Like, yeah, let's just look at who the best DB is in general. Because I think we just need like one more player to kind of rotate in.
Kamal Haddon would be Josh Proctor. Two names that kind of stand out to me here in round five.
Let's go Haddon. We got Alontae Taylor out of Tennessee who kind of broke out. You can get Haddon to buy in and he could really just be versatile piece for that secondary, that last piece that it really needs. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, let's lock him in. We got to get bodies in that secondary. Now do you want to go look edge? You doubled. I wouldn't even mind double dipping at receiver to be quite honest with you. Maybe not. I mean, even interior offensive line, double dipping at tackle. They have Xander Horvath as their as their fullback too. I didn't even know that. That's funny.
Fullback two.
Xander Horvath, the RAS legend, he had like a 9.98 GOAT.
He was the GOAT. I wouldn't mind like Logan Lee. Just he could play
Ooh.
and he can play interior. It's a little bit high, but I'm really high on it.
He's kind of that tweener.
Hmm.
But if you get him in the right system, I mean, he can kind of kick out to edge. Oh,
Saints
he
like
was
Saints like those type of players.
state champion wrestler in 220 pounds and 280 pound division in his state. Yeah, let's lock in Logan Lee. That feels like a Saints player. That's a good, and he's kind of that tweener. You can kick him inside. I think I honestly believe you can kick him outside as well. I feel like he's just got that versatility. Um, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, PFF will probably give us an F on this one because they're not as high on him, but I'm really high on him. Like you said, he is a wrestler, and any Iowa wrestler, state champ wrestler, is going to be on my radar. They always, translate Linderbaum, Tristan Wirfs, just to name a few. I definitely, and the fact that you pair that with, he's a really good athlete. He's more athletic than or a run defender. He's just a really twitchy defensive lineman. So I think he's just going to be really good. I think he might go higher than people expect. I think this would be a really, really fun fit. And then we have a pick just a few picks down.
Zach Zinter, lock it in. Let's add depth. Let's add starting potential. Or Christian. Ooh, Christian Jones is still on the board. That might be better because you get an experienced tackle right away.
Very
Uh,
experienced. That's what we need. I like that.
yeah, no, it's locking Christian Jones. I mean, I think he can compete with Trevor Penning day one for that starting spot. I feel like he might be the little safer role. Pair him on the opposite side of Olu. I really love that.
That's just too good a value to pass up. Zach Zinner still is on the board. I don't know if he would realistically be here. We could double dip
Yeah,
a receiver, like you mentioned.
yeah, who's what receivers are left on the board?
Tavion Robinson does kind of feel like a saint. He could be that more gadget type of receiver.
I wouldn't mind that at all. Wouldn't mind that. Yeah. No, let's go Tavian Robinson. I like that. Yeah, let's go the upside for a little gadget end arounds type of guy. Special teams, special teams, special plays, special players.
Special teams, special stores.
Yes. Do you want to look interior here?
We can go JV Cohen, someone that had a pretty bad season, but going into the season had some hype.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we can bank on some upside in that interior. And we just don't have a lot of depth there either, to be honest with you. We don't even have backup left guard or center. Um, yeah, let's get some bodies in the interior. I think that's a good pick.
I do like that pick, and then we have two picks left. One of them I definitely do want to consider a safety. Just you have Tyrann Mathieu aging, you got Jordan Howden in there. You don't really have much depth at safety. They do bring in Jonathan Abram, but I do want to bring in a safety. I'm really high on Dominique Hampton. Do you want to give him to someone? I don't even think we've drafted him yet.
No, let's lock him into that secondary. We definitely need room. I mean, Tyrann Matthew, Honey Badger's old. I think he may be a cap casualty. So let's get a guy with who can sit behind him for a year and have potential to start. Do we need a punter?
Wait, no, I think we can get him in our next pick. Let's get Amani Bailey because we do need some running back depth. We don't even know what's up with Alvin Kamara really with his future. And Kendry Miller was out of TCU. We could get his teammate Amani Bailey, who honestly could be a fun upside, a nice receiving back in that room.
Wouldn't hate that at all. Yeah, lock it in. Yeah, he's fun. Another Senior Bowl standout running back. A guy who I kind of liked, who's kind of grown on me through the process.
Yeah, I really like that. And then we'll go back to the safety. Well, sadly, our guy is gone, but we'll just go with the highest guy. I like Jalen Simpson. He's kind of that box linebacker that I mean, a lot of people actually have him as a linebacker. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, no. We could definitely upgrade. Yeah, we just need bodies. We need bodies. We need bodies everywhere on this team. Let's lock it in.
Beautiful, beautiful draft. Feels like a Saints draft. We're trying our best to build for Derek Carr, make him as successful as possible, as hard as it is, as hard as it sounds. But do you want to read off that draft?
Yes, I mean we just first off we need to cut. We just need to cut. We just need to rip the band-aid off. We need to somehow move off of Derek Carr, move off of Cam Jordan, move off of Tyrann Mathieu. I mean just we need to get these guys off our roster. We need to save some money and look for the future. But in this draft, that's exactly what we did with round one, pick 14, going Olu Fashanu. The incredible prospect, a really clean pass protecting guy from Penn State. Round 245, adding some much needed depth to that wide receiver room and immediately having your wide receiver two in Jalen Polk from Washington. Round five, wow, we go from round two to round five. We have 20 picks in the later rounds. I wasn't even really paying attention to that. But cornerback Kamal Haddon from Tennessee. And then round five again, Logan Lee, defensive interior from Iowa. Just kind of that tweener, that guy that can line up in the inside, line up the edge, give you that kind of position flexibility. Then round five, pick 170 and Christian Jones, who could honestly, in my opinion, 5-year starter at Texas, probably slot in there at right tackle right away and push for a starting spot over Trevor Penning. And then round five, pick 175, going Tavion Robinson, a gadget wide receiver from Kentucky. Round six, pick 190, going Javion Cohen, Miami, a guard from Miami, a guy who kind of had a down season, but you're kind of just banking on the upside there. Round six, pick 199, Amani Bailey, really fun Senior Bowl player, a guy that's kind of stood out, really good football player, really good human, has some upside to eventually maybe get over Kendra Miller. maybe Jamal Williams becomes a cut candidate during camp, save a little bit of money. And then finishing out the draft at round 7, pick 239, safety Jalen Simpson, who Danny has slotting in at linebacker or safety, kind of that hybrid type.
Yeah, Dane Brugler actually has him in his linebacker rankings. I have him as a safety personally, but I think it's just a nice versatile piece. It was a hard draft having all those fifth round picks, a big drop
Yeah.
off after our first two. It was just a weird draft, hard one to do. You have to hit a lot of those fifth round picks.
Yeah, I mean, you got to swing and you got to hit a couple of them. You're not gonna hit on all of them, but you got to at least hit a couple on them when most of your picks are in the rounds, 5 and on.
Yeah, we tried our best to swing on those needs. But with that, we'll move on to the Buccaneers, the last team we're going to draft for in this series. Let's see who's there in round one. I do think that corner is a pretty underrated need for this team. You lose Carlton Davis to the Lions, and I think you got to replace him because that secondary, as it was last year, wasn't the best. That was kind of one of the holes in that defense. A lot of people do shoe an edge. I don't hate Yaya Diaby and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. They're young. They have some upside still. I don't hate it, although I wouldn't, mind going edge as well.
No, not at all. But I think I agree with you at corner. I think that may be our biggest need. Kool-Aid McKinstry, a guy who really shouldn't have been here a couple months ago, has that Jones fracture in his foot. Maybe just doesn't have the highest floor of all these athletes, but just, and it says it in his name, man. He's just a cool, calm, collective corner. He does not panic. No one threw at him this year. Everyone knew not to throw at Kool-Aid McKinstry, and it really blew up Terrion Arnold, his draft, you know, prospect and profile because he was able to get thrown at, and teams threw at him and found out what happened when he threw at Terrion Arnold. But Kool-Aid just did not get tested because teams were too scared to throw at him, and I think he slots in immediately as your cornerback one.
Very solid. This is kind of reminiscent of like Aqib Talib going to the Bucks. I think he could just be a really good CB1 for you for a long time and just be a fan favorite. Feels right. Feels like a Buck. He is so solid on the outside. I'd be confident that he can, fill right in for Carlton Davis. It's a really fun pick. And then round two is definitely where we can consider edge. I think this is definitely better value to consider edge. But you did bring in Randy Gregory too, so I don't even think we're desperate to go edge.
No, I mean overall, another
I think
team.
honestly, PFF has running back is the biggest need. That's crazy to me because Rashad White's awesome and the run blocking was just terrible last year. So I would replace that with like interior offensive line because that interior offensive line's run blocking last year was just abysmal and Rashad White had no running lanes.
It's kind of funny because Sigma charges this as a Buccaneers fan. It's kind
Oh.
of funny that he put that. Um,
Yeah, he must just not like Rashad White, but honestly, like it's kind of just disrespectful to Rashad White because he was great last year.
He was fantastic. Yeah, like you said, there's just nowhere for him to run. So yeah, we could really upgrade the interior of this offensive line, which would not be bad. Adisa Isaac is tempting if we did want to go. Ooh, Christian Haynes or Cooper Beebe maybe. Ooh, I like that a lot.
Christian Haynes would just be too beautiful. You could start him day one. I'm down to Christian Haynes or Jonah Ellis. That is a tough, tough choice. A really tough one. I think I
Just
don't
make it
know.
easy for you, Dan. Be scared, then go to church.
Fair enough.
I think that's all you need. I think that's all you need to answer this question right here.
No, that's fair. You get that mentality for Baker. Baker would love him. Just beautiful. I would start him day one. You can definitely find a good combination of linemen with this one. Beautiful. I think we both are very high on Christian Haynes. He can play center. Can be a great guard for you. I think he's a very high upside. He's a good mover for how big he is. He's just I love him. I love him.
Yeah, Christian Haynes, one of our favorite guys. One of the better characters, I should say, personalities of this draft class. So, that goes a long way. That goes a long way for a locker room and a long way for a lot of things.
Absolutely. And then let's go edge finally. We'll go edge here in round three. Let's go someone with some I know that is tough because Austin Booker has the upside, but Braylon Trice has that high floor. You could pair him with Washington, Joe Tryon Shoyinka. Braylon Trice could be nice just to, start because he's a really high floor, good run defender.
Do we think Braylon Trice falls out teams are low? I feel like everyone's low on him, and I can't figure out why.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just like the high end tools that just aren't there. So I think this is honestly the range for him, but
let's go Braylon Trice. I think hell right at the beginning of this process, we might have been mocking Braylon Trice to the Buccaneers in the first round, but they
yeah.
get him at third round, and that is tremendous value, and I absolutely love it. I mean, you see the grades there. Played at Washington. What an incredible season he had there. It was the number one pass rush win rate in all of college football.
Yeah, and he led college football in pressures as well, so not bad.
Yeah, not a bad third round pick here. And pretty big another guy who I kind of see as a tweener. I think is he does fit best to edge, but in pass rushing situations on third downs, you could definitely kick him to the inside and add that pressure from the interior.
Beautiful pick, feels like a Buccaneers pick, and we got to pick just a few down the road here. I think that we double dip at interior offensive line or edge. Honestly, I really think we can.
I think I agree with you with the interior of that offensive line. Let's look who who'd be kind of fun.
This is
Oh
tough.
God. I mean, Christian Mahogany would be super fun because he's just a mauler in the run game, and that's just immediately helps Rashad White with Christian Haynes on the other side of that interior. Oh
He is
man.
a mauler. I would definitely not complain with that. I wouldn't complain with Mason McCormick. You got a North Dakota State lineman and Cody Malk last year. You could go McCormick with South Dakota, but I wouldn't mind Van Pran here to go center. I'm down to McCormick, Van Pran, or Mahogany. I'll let you choose.
I was really liking Van Pran here, and he just kind of gives you that versatility as well. I think he really is just a true center.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's actually just go with that true center. We could straight up just replace Robert Hainsey, honestly. I like that.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Robert Haynes is nothing to write home about. Let's just immediately get his upgrade. A guy who played for Georgia, just he's gone up against the level of competition that's in the NFL. He's graded elite at everything. He's really nothing he's bad at. And a guy who's honestly, he's just kind of, I mean, this is just a good center draft class, man. It's really good. Really take advantage of these guys second, third, fourth, fifth round because there's just good prospects in every single round.
Yeah, very sound, good pass protector. You know he's ready to play now. He's played in some big games at Georgia. Absolutely love that. We got 3 picks left. I do think tight end something we got to look at. It's just Kate Otten and Kokai, nothing crazy, not the highest upside. We could probably wait around and go tight end. Could go
Also,
receiver. Let's go receiver 3. Let's get us a slot receiver to compete with Trey Palmer.
look who's just on the board right there, just staring us right in the face. What a good call out. And I'm not even to mention that. I mean, you got to start eventually preparing for life after Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I don't know how long you can retain both of those guys for, but yeah, I mean, we just immediately get an upgrade at that slot to pair with them is just a perfect complementary wide receiver in Taj Washington. And again, just elite level grades from this guy. He's super small. The size percentile is like the 10th percentile, super small, but the dude's just a good football player. And I don't care if he's undersized, he can contribute day one from the slot in the NFL.
He's an absolute baller. He would really be a good contributor. He would be a probably their best slot day one, and then you can just make Trey Palmer an awesome deep threat. I do really like that with your last fourth round pick, and then you got 2 picks left. I do want to double dip at edge, man. I really think it's smart. I think our last 2 picks need to be an edge, and then I think we need to go at tight end.
Maybe kind of fun to pair McKinley Jackson with Vita Vea in the middle. Just no, it doesn't really make sense, but just two absolute monsters of humans. Um, who we got at edge?
I really love Fabian Lovett. I don't know if you've seen him yet, but I almost like him more than Braden Fisk, dude. He's pretty solid.
I have not watched his film yet, but I liked his
Jackson
grade
could be
when you
good.
look.
We got Logan Hall, Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey, William Golston, Greg Gaines. I'm not going defensive interior. I'm sorry. That's the most stacked defensive interior I've ever seen in my life. What tight ends are available? Is the Arizona tight end would be pretty nice. McLaughlin is the nice receiveriest and receiving upside. He might be the best option.
Let's do it. Let's lock it in here. That's good value here in the sixth round, and that's honestly where he's gonna probably end up going. 0% drop rate. You love to see it.
Yeah, super solid. He could be reliable. He honestly would honestly get a lot of work day one for this team. So I like that a lot. And then let's end it out with an edge rusher. Let's double dip and pair someone with Braylon Trice and Troy on Shainka. And I mean, we don't have to. I like Yaya Diaby. You bring in Randy Greger. We really don't need to go edge.
Linebacker. Linebacker?
Or we could just go fully all in on the Washington edges and get Zion as well. But let's see what linebackers are available.
Who's
Another
our
Washington player.
place? Oh, we could get a kicker. We got Chase McLaughlin. Or McLaughlin, or whatever you say his name. He's not a very good place kicker.
We could go kicker. But let's go. Honestly, I just finished my linebacker rankings. I had Ede Ulafashio in my top 10. Do you want to just go him for some upside, stick with the Washington well?
Dan loves the Washington blood, and I love it too. Let's dip from the program that had a ton of success. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Sabasia Dennis pick out of Pitt last year, but you do have KJ Britt starting. So yeah, let's go for some upside. Go for a coverage specialist. Can be a nice little sub package player for you day one. A great special teams merchant. Really like that. Feels like a Buccaneers draft. All these drafts felt pretty accurate. I feel like we really hit on all the needs pretty well. But drafting for Baker Mayfield. We got him a Kool-Aid McKinstry in round one at pick 26. It does feel right. It feels like a perfect just fit to replace Carlton Davis. Round two, you get Christian Haynes, an absolute dog to start at guard and really improve that run blocking, which was a disaster last year. Round three, you get Braylon Trice, another Washington edge rusher in that room to be really a solid piece in that room. Round three, you get Cedric Van Pran as well to honestly start at center, definitely compete with Hainsey at center. He could be he has a really high floor. He could just be a long time good starter. Round four, you get a really solid slept on slot receiver out of USC, Taj Washington. And then round six, you get a good receiving tight end named Tanner McLaughlin. And then round seven, you get my boy Ede Olufashio, really good coverage specialist linebacker. I love it. Felt accurate. All these NFC South dress felt accurate.
How many picks are in the draft total? Is it 250?
Off the dome, I couldn't tell you, man.
250 teams, or sorry, 250 picks. 250 picks for you, y'all. That's what we just did. All this concludes the 7 round mock series. It's just beautiful. Let us know if you liked it. We did every single team. We got it out before the draft. So show us some love, subscribe. We're gonna be doing this every year. This is just so fun for us, and it was such a fun series. Um, but yeah, that's good stuff, Dan. I think we can shake on that. This is one of our most favorite series. I loved it.
Yeah, super fun. It's crazy to think that we drafted every single pick in the draft for every team. So make sure to check out your team's episode if you haven't already. But yeah, really fun. I'm excited for next year already. Already looking forward to next year's draft content. It's been really fun grinding it out, but we have a lot more to get through. A lot of fantasy content we'll be churning out. So definitely stay tuned to the NFL Seekers podcast. So we'll have our final mock draft coming out the day before the draft. So yeah, just stay tuned. It's been really fun. Like, comment, subscribe. Anything else you want to say?
You're just an absolute sicko. Subscribe to us. If you love this kind of stuff, subscribe because we are sickos for this kind of stuff. And you know, show us some love, man. I don't want to see any hate. I want some love for after the series.
Yeah, draft sickos. Definitely subscribe to us. Just NFL sickos in general. We're here every week for some great content. So definitely like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned to the NFL Seekers podcast. Comment if you like, dislike the picks. Peace.
Peace.